You're listening to the Tom Ficklin Show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is First Friday's Real Talk. We're talking community engagement. My name is Sean Reeves. I'll be your host for today. This morning, we have our newest alder, Maceo Troy Streeter. He's the alder of Ward 21. Good morning, alder. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well.
Congratulations, first of all. Happy Good Friday to you. All that good stuff.
Thank you.
So how does it feel being the new alder in New Hallville, Ward 21?
Well, I guess it feels good. I'm still getting used to it, kind of. It's going by fast. More time has went by than I realized, because I was voted in January, I think 23rd or 24th. And here we are now, we're in April.
Right.
So time is moving.
So tell us a little bit about your position. Are you sitting on any special boards and commissions for the city, like public safety, anything like that?
Yes, I'm on the public safety committee, health and human services, city services, and environmental policies.
Public safety, health and human services, city services, and environmental policies. That sounds like a lot.
Yes, it is. And I look forward to it.
Thank you. So again, this morning, we try to deal with real talk on our First Friday segments. We're talking community engagement. What's your community saying over in New Hallville right now?
Well, the community, basically, what I have been helping people with right now is like blight being dumped different places.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been having stuff like that removed. And people leaving the cans out, after for weeks. They don't pull them back in. There haven't been anything major. Of course, we have had a few shootings that we're trying to get more police presence. We have recently got more police presence over at County Street building. We got a police, and we're getting a guard over there to make them residents over there feel more safer in their homes. But basically, I'm trying to do what the constituents are asking for and what they need. I was born and raised in this ward, and so it's
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I said you were born and raised over in that ward, but we didn't hear that last piece. Sorry.
Yes. I said I was born and raised in the 21st ward. So yeah, I'm still at home, and I'm looking to help my community.
And with that being said, you want to talk a little bit about the double homicide that happened over in Beaver Hills?
Yes, that was a tragedy. Any death or any shootings is a tragedy. And the New Haven Police Department is doing what they can to beef up security and have more of a presence. We had a meeting with the chief and some other people, officers that has been promoted, and so we're trying to come up with ways that they could have more police presence and try to combat this violence that's going on in the community.
Before the double homicide, I did have an opportunity to sit on the public hearing that the chief and a lot of the officers were in downtown at City Hall. They have a lot of new tech and a lot of new initiatives actually taking place that should bolster some of the initiatives to help curb and cure some of the violence in the city. On top of, other initiatives that they have to address high risk individuals and trying not to lock them up, but to provide them some alternatives. You sat in on that public hearing. Anything you want to talk about as far as the new tech is concerned?
Well, yeah, the new tech is good. What my aim is to try to get ahead of the shooting, so the new tech, so it's not needed. We want to combat, stop the shootings and the killings, before they happen. So that's why we're trying to get a hold of the youth, so we won't have these shootings. Yet the new technology that they're coming out with is very good. And yes, I was at the meeting, and I was highly impressed with a lot of things that they have. But my objective is, I want to try to stop the shootings, stop the killings. We need to bring our youth together, because a life, once you take it, it can't come back. So,
Right.
and in my opinion, there isn't anything out there worth killing someone over and going to jail for the rest of your life. I just feel that we need programmings and things for the youth to do, to bring them together, so we can try to put a stop to this as much as possible.
Yeah, so let's elaborate a little bit on that. One thing I've been focused on since the loss of my son was, violence prevention tactics and different forms of things that we can do to help eradicate the situation. I believe that, I don't want to try and cure it. I don't want to try and slow it down. The goal is to eradicate community gun violence, so that way we're not having death in our community by that. So you talked a little bit about, getting ahead of it. Do you have any ideas that might help deal with some prevention?
In fact, I do. We have to try to see how these youth are getting these guns. We have to try to get ahead of that, because if we stop them from getting of these guns, that would combat and stop a lot of the shootings. I feel that that's what we have to target. How are they getting them? Because they're not going to the store buying them themselves. We know that. So
Right.
I feel that if we put a stop to how they're getting these guns, that would be a great help.
Now, a lot of that falls on other government agencies taking a different or more proactive approach to addressing those areas of concern. With that being said, there's a few new bills on the table. One is a bill called HB 6667, addressing certain things like safe storage laws, ghost gun accountability bill. But there's also other elements in the bill that I think community should know about. And one of those elements is the the mayor's bill. The mayors of the cities of New Haven, Hartford, Bridgeport, and I believe Waterbury, along with the police chiefs, have tried to introduce some language pertaining to citizens who may have been actively already committed a crime in that nature, who are rearrested and having their bonds increased, in a number of other elements. I can't really give you all the details right now, but those are some of the ways that uh, government agencies are trying to address curbing some of the gun violence in our communities, because they're saying it's only committed by a small percentage of individuals. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that it's a cycle that's going on. Um, I'm aware of the mayors meeting up at Hartford at the Capitol.
Mhm.
Um, I think that anything that we can do to stop it, that we should try to do. However, we have to try to see how they are getting these guns, because that's the main thing. Um, I'm not happy with locking these youth up behind the guns. I'm happy with preventing them from getting the guns, and so they can go on and be productive, to society. Because a lot of our kids, uh, they may be misguided, misled, but if we prevent them from getting it, I feel that's the start. We have to try to prevent them from getting these guns in his hands. Because as I said before, we know that they're not going in the stores buying these guns, purchasing them themselves. So how are they getting them? How are they getting in their hands?
So more so targeting the firearm rather than the individual carrying the firearm, especially the
Correct.
youth in our communities.
Right, because we know that they're not going in the stores buying them. So someone is putting these guns in these kids' hands, and I say shame on them for doing that. However, that to me will stop a lot of the shootings if they don't have, if you don't have a gun, you can't shoot it.
So let's talk about our youth environment for a minute. Do you think they have the necessary resources that are available or needed for them to successfully navigate through their youthful experiences right now in the city of New Haven?
Well, I feel that there should be more things for the youth to do, and we have more programs out there for for them. Because as far as the gun laws and these gun laws been on for how long, so that's not preventing them from doing it. Like I said, we have to prevent or work on how are they getting them. When they find a gun, a youth with a gun, okay, try to trace where did it originate from? Was it already reported stolen? How long has it been reported stolen? We have to combat it in areas like that.
Right. So what you're saying is basically we need to make sure that we're addressing it from a bottom-up approach rather than a top-down approach. There's already enough laws in place in the country to lock those perpetrators up who commit those crimes, but there isn't any push to ensure that the persons that are purchasing the firearms and that are selling and distributing the firearms are being held accountable for these youth getting a lot of these guns in their hands.
Correct.
They're not licensed to carry and they can't purchase firearms out of any store.
Correct. Because we've been doing gun laws, and the problem still is existing. So, like I said, we have to work on and target. I feel that if someone is giving the youth guns, it should be harsh penalties on them because, as I stated, they can't buy it themselves, so someone is providing them with that. That's what we need to get cracked down on. The youths, of course, they're still young, they're still growing, and we have to be role models. We have to be examples. We have to lead by example for them. Let them know, no, that's not the way. Don't put a gun in their hand. Put a basketball in their hand. Put a baseball in their hand. Okay, bring them to an activity. Give them something to do because the idle mind is open to anything. But if you have activities for them or different things for them to do, I feel that that is a deterrent from it. Also, we have to get out and talk to the youth. Okay, what's the problem? What are you shooting about? you know Basically, if I feel if we spend more time relating with them, we can talk, because I feel that confabulating with them, we can find out what's going on, you know explain to them, give them more wisdom on the issue. Because if they having a bad day or about a girl, if you shoot somebody, you going to she's not your girl or his. He's one place, you're another place. So we have to give them wisdom and tell them, they have to, take heed to what's going on. You know, we're being locked up because of things that could have been, avoided. Shooting someone, what is that going to get you?
Right. Um, Sounds like a lot more conflict management tactics need to be installed inside of our community.
Correct. I agree with that. Definitely. Yep,
So,
I agree with that.
one thing I recognize that inside of our community is that we actually practice a lot of deathly situations and language that doesn't promote life. Like, we have this huge no snitching uh, policy or belief that that our community can do better staying in that atmosphere. Now, this isn't a conversation for today, but we've had conversations around the no snitching policy. What does that mean? What does that look like? What is a snitch versus what is a community resident, a person that spends their time working hard to own and purchase property, take care of their families, and how that doesn't empower them to take action and ensure safety inside of their communities. I'm not sure if you want to elaborate on that in any way.
Well, I hear you, and I do agree with the statement you're making. I look at it this way: with the shootings that's going on in the areas, I also feel that our kids need counseling.
Yes.
They need counseling. They're hearing, this shooting, but they're saying no snitching. Okay, so what's the alternative to that? Do our kids think, okay, I'm not going to tell, but I'm gonna go out and commit a crime? So we have to weigh what we're telling them. We have to always consider, the obstacles that we're putting before them. Okay, no, don't tell. So what are we saying? We tell them don't tell. So in their mind, they're saying, okay, I'm not going to tell, but I'm gonna get vengeance.
Right.
So that's a serious conversation within itself. You're telling them don't tell, so they're saying, okay, I'm not going to tell, but I'm going to seek revenge. So do we want that? And is that the example that we want to set for to them, and have them thinking that, okay, no, I'm not going to tell anything, but I'm gonna go commit crime myself. I'm gonna go seek out who I feel did it, and so it's like a two-edged sword when you tell someone, okay, no snitching. So what are you actually telling them? We need to go further. We have to have dialogue with them and make them understand. As I said, if we talk to them, I feel that we can get to the root of what they feel the issue is, and we can come up with solutions for them, because the shooting and the killings is not the answer.
So giving the youth a voice, a place
Correct.
where they can actually explain to us how they feel, how they recognize this situation as it pertains to their life, and maybe also provide us some solutions on how to help improve the situation, at least from their perspectives.
Correct. Because as we have to realize, they're young adults, they think different than we think. Um, and I feel that if we communicate with them, we can, reach an understanding with them. We see their point of view and see where they're coming from. So in order to rectify something, you have to know what it actually is. So once we speak with them to get them to feel comfortable and open up with us, I feel that we can help them.
I ditto that sentiment, right? So I want to take a second and just talk about the Office of Violence Prevention in New Haven. I know you're a new alder. They do have an Office of Violence Prevention that was agreed upon by the city of New Haven. They had hired a director, I believe his name was Ruel Parks, and after 3 months, he's now decided to resign from the office. Do you have any comments or any thoughts about that?
Yes, I seen in the news that he resigned and he left. I'm not sure what the particulars are why he left, but I do feel that there is a need for that. And you have to, with these positions, you have to get people that's willing to go the extra mile, people that's willing to work, because a position like that, you have to be willing to go out into these streets. Some people are not comfortable doing that. If you're not comfortable, you need not apply for the position, because you have to look at what the title of it is. And to prevent something, you got to be out there around it.
Prevention, right? Not
Correct.
intervention after the fact, but before it
Right.
happens. Right. So do you know about all of the CVI programs or initiatives within the city? A
No,
community intervention
I don't,
program, prevention
I don't
programs?
think, I don't think I know about all of them. I am aware of some of them because, like I said, they start them, then, some of them, they fade off or they're not as active. So,
Right. Um, any ideas for New Hallville for the
the
summer?
new The New Hopeville for the summer, I feel that we need to keep our youth busy. We need to have programs. Me, myself, in my ward, I want to block off the street and have a block party for the kids. Give them hot dogs, hamburgers, and, the ones that's of age, have them register, and have them, let them know that, they are cared about and there's things in the community that they can do. I feel if you make them involved in things, that's a deterrent also from being in violence in the street. We have to basically, keep them busy. When we're young, we don't have anything to do. We're going to do anything. So if you have, a schedule of things that they need to do, we have things for them. I feel that is a deterrent from getting in the street and being involved in violence. We have to, we as adults, we have to set the path for them.
Definitely. So I just want to double back on, the topic of trauma and how do we address trauma inside of communities of color, such as ours, right? It's not just a child that's traumatized, but it's the entire family. I don't believe that there's a family inside of our community that hasn't been affected by gun violence in some shape, form, or fashion. Do you think we're getting enough resources around trauma support services where families actually have outlets to go and kind of talk about these things with someone?
I do not. I feel that there's always, like you said, I don't feel there's anyone in the community that haven't been touched by some type of trauma. And in our community, it's kind of taboo to see a therapist, because that's how, okay, even as a man, we're raised to, oh, you're tough. Like we fall down, we'll tell our kid, get up, don't cry. So we're taught that. But there's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. There's nothing wrong with talking your problems out, and I just feel that there is a great need for that, and um, there is always going to be a need for it because, like you said, there's always trauma and there's always issues. Even some of these kids that's going through things, we don't know what they was traumatized about. A lot of these youth have their life taken. A lot of these kids seen that, so that is a traumatic experience for them to go through, and like I said, some of them never get treatment for it, never talk to anyone because a lot of them they're suffering in silence, and so when they act out, we see um their actions, but we don't know what it is the reaction from. What are they dealing with? What are they harboring in them? And that's what some of the issues is that I feel that needs to be addressed also. I feel that definitely is need more room for therapy, more room for treatment, and people that have been through something needs treatment, and there's nothing wrong with it. We have to stop thinking that it's taboo to get help or to speak with someone because it's not.
Listen, that's one of those areas that was pretty much very gray for me for a while. When I lost my son in 2011, I didn't immediately seek any type of therapy. Therapy for me became just me speaking out about, the things that I seen happening in the community. But, I actively have a therapist. I actually go to my therapist twice a week, not just for that particular piece, but also for, my fatherhood engagement with the remaining of my children, right? Um, until I started really addressing my traumas from a therapeutic standpoint, I was seeing some of it, but I couldn't see the entire picture. Right now that I'm in therapy, I recommend therapy to all of my friends, counterparts, family members, and anyone that's been touched, uh, or that just has issues at home. Again, one of the things that I want to stress is conflict management. Conflict management has gotten me into a space where I can navigate conflict a lot better than I used to be in the past. I'm not an expert yet, but I'm getting there. My goal is to be a conflict management and conflict reconciliation practitioner because we wake up with conflict every single day. And it's not always conflict is not always considered a bad thing, but we always have conflict, whether it's in the house, at work, out in the community, what have you. But there's techniques and there's ways to make sure that conflict doesn't lead to violence and doesn't lead to someone causing another individual harm. So yeah, therapy it used to be taboo, but we want to normalize seeking therapy in communities like ours, because it's a much needed engine in order for us to get over that hump and become a lot more successful in our pursuits, for a cleaner, safer, and more prosperous community. So
Yes, I totally agree. And and again, you have my deepest sympathy on your loss. And I just feel that is very brave of you to go ahead and take the step and to seek therapy. And it is good for you to tell others, because if you're leading by example and you're going through something, you're telling people this is helping me. I think that a word to the wise should be sufficient. People should take heed to that. And therapy is good for anyone. We was raised that we're tough, we don't need it, we're strong. However, we're human, so we do need it. And just like if we get sick, we go to the doctor. So it's basically the same thing. We've been through something, so why not get help for it? I think that it's a shame when you go through something and you don't get help for it. I think that's the bigger tragedy of the thing, that you will not seek help. If you get a flat tire in your car, you're not going to drive around with your car fixed. So if you go through something tragic, why not get help for it? That is a very wise thing to do. And I definitely advocate for therapy, because it works, you know?
definitely, definitely. So we're moving forward. This is an election year for the mayors, correct?
Yes.
Um, what are we doing as far as engaging the neighborhood around this election year? Is there any education going on between residents to get out and vote? One of the things that I recognize is that we have a very low voltage turnout from time to time. And it's mainly due to the lack of education, I believe, and a lack of information that our community members receive about their power and ability to vote. What are your thoughts about that?
Feel that we do always have a low turnout. What I'm planning to do in my ward, I'm planning to go, door to door. I want to get current email addresses, because I like to reach them through email. And the ones that don't have email, I want to see if someone in the household has email. And because you have to stay informed. I also want to do, like I said, voter registration, and talk to people about voting. Is very important. There was a time that we couldn't vote, but now we have it. And we a lot of us, we don't utilize it. We don't come out and vote.
So one of
We
the
don't
things
come out.
that I had a conversation with a few days ago with a couple of my counterparts is the fact on how do we get our younger population more engaged, more involved in the voting process, right? How do we get information to those persons like myself, who is a three-time convicted felon, to understand that they have voting rights? A lot of those men that are now in that position don't really understand that they do have voting rights, those young men and women. And then also our younger generations, I don't believe they've even been given the enough information to discern the power that they have in the vote.
Correct. I I try to educate people when I come across them, and let them know, because a lot of guys, they think once they have a felony, they don't vote anymore. And I tell them that's not true. I have registered several people that didn't think that they could be registered, and I feel that the information is not getting out there as it should be. So I think that that is an area that needs to be worked on. And you know, I just feel that knowledge is the key. We when you have knowledge, pass it on, spread it on to people.
Definitely.
So I try to tell people that I come across, but I guess we can't speak of it enough, because like years ago, people died.
You're breaking up a little bit, Alder. While we wait on the Alder to kind of get back in, I'm going to talk a little bit about the power of voting. So when you turn 18, you're eligible to vote. The younger generation,
I
sorry, Alder, you can unmute yourself. We were having some technical difficulties. I didn't get to catch everything that you were saying.
Okay, yeah, because I see that it had stopped. What part did you hear?
So once we started talking about, you starting to register individuals and giving them the ability to now become voters when they didn't know that they could register to vote. And then that's pretty much all we heard.
Right. Pass the knowledge along. Knowledge is power. So when you have knowledge, I think we should always share it, because a lot of people are misinformed. They don't know. Some people tell you, "Oh no, I can't vote. I have a felony." Well, I say, "Are you on parole? Are you on probation?" They say, "No." I say, "Well, you can register and you can vote." And I have registered a few people that way that thought that they couldn't. And I tell them, tell their friends also. If they have friends, as long as they're not on parole, probation, that they can register and they can vote.
So this is just a thought of mine. I watched your campaign. I was so proud of you guys when you were out campaigning to become alder. A lot of my friends throughout the city helped participate in those actions, right? How can we continue that level of action to talk about registering individuals to vote? Not just within New Hallville, but throughout the city. How do we get our younger individuals more actively participating in the process?
Right. I think everyone that did come out, and yes, we really hit the streets. We hit them hard, and we really went door to door knocking and registering people, and speaking with them and advising them of about voting. But I feel that there's a need for that, and like you said, we need to do it all over the city of New Haven. And not just New Haven. All states should adopt that. We should have weekends where we just go out, register people, talk to people, and get people involved. Sometimes people need a nudge. So you come to them, well, okay, we're doing this. We're having this. We're having a voter registration. Okay, can you get 10 of your friends to come out and vote? Or we can have like little contests. Who can get the most people to vote? We got to engage our youth that way, because, give them a contest. Okay, whoever get the most people to vote, we're gonna give them something.
Listen, so I don't even think it's that difficult. I went to visit Honda Smith over at the Shack about a week ago with the organization that I currently work for, Connecticut Against Gun Violence, in partnership with the Full Citizens Coalition, a friend of mine, James Jeter. The information that we share with those 10 youth inspired and empowered them in ways that I wouldn't even have believed in just about an hour and a half's time. Those children sat after the meeting and started adopting somewhat of a drafted bill, or at least their concerns, to talk to their legislators about. And it was something that they related to. It was about schooling, having whistles blown at them during school time like they were animals, and the poor food that they're being served in school. So, I think that Once kids or any individuals given proper information, that they can make good decisions for themselves. But when they're presented with information that is improper, broken, or no information at all, it's hard to make decisions. So how can we get a lit drop into the hands of all citizens throughout New Haven, especially our youth population, with proper information and educating them around the process of voting, what their legislators, aldermen, and city officials look like, and who they actually work for, and not the other way around?
I feel that we should start with the high schools with that. And I want to say, yes, Alder Honda Smith is doing an excellent job out there in Westfield area with the shack. And I really commend her. She's a hard worker and she has, a great thing going on out there. And that's ways of reaching, like I said, if you build it, they'll come. If you have things for them to do, they're gonna, it should be more shacks. Why other towns, well, not other towns, other parts of the city don't have things like that for you, so if they have it, they're gonna participate.
You went on mute. Sorry, Alder, you went on mute.
And look at how that, and we should be able to develop more of them. And it's an excellent way of reaching the youth. As I stated earlier, if they trust you, they're gonna listen to you. Out there where Alder Smith is at, she has trust because she's real. What you see is what you get with her. She's not gonna sugarcoat it. She's
Right.
real, and she's doing an excellent thing out there.
And she's a caring individual. I know one thing about Miss Smith. She cares about families more than anything. She cares not just
Correct.
about youth, but the entire family population. And,
Right.
she is.
Correct. And that's what Alder Smith is doing out there. And like you stated, she cares. And if she can help, she will. And that's what she's doing out there. I think that she's doing a tremendous job out there. And I just feel that there should be more sites like that set up around the city of New Haven. We got to put funding in for things for the kids to do, and I think that that's how we can reach them. You have to reach them on their level,
Right.
And then once you have reached them and have their their attention, lead them in the right way, show them, speak to them, guide them.
Right. Listen, I think it's a model that should be adopted in all of our wards, especially our underserved wards. Without activities, as you said, without things to do, our children are in a space where they have to make decisions that sometimes are not best for them, right? But if we build it, they will come.
Correct. I totally agree with that, as I stated earlier. And as leaders, we have to set the example. We have to lead the way. We have to show them. We have to provide them with alternative to being out there trying to shoot at somebody or trying to fight someone, behind something that's not even, worth it. We got to lead our youth in the correct way, show them, lead by example. And I think that they'll come along.
Right. So now, the summer's coming up. We have the Freddie Fixer coming up. We have our community cleanup event coming up soon. Is there any messages that you want to leave your community with for these new the new activities that are actually going to be taking place in our summer months?
Well, actually, not only just with Freddie Fixer, I'm trying to form a committee, and I was contacted by another residents in our city about cleanup. I don't feel we should just want to clean up our city for a parade. We should always want to clean up our city. So we're working on that, and we're sending out emails of people that wants to help. I have reached out to the mayor's office, and they say that they have no problem with providing different material that we will need to help clean up. And I think that we have to be persistent with things, not just okay, once a year, okay, we're going to clean an area because a parade is coming. No, let's keep our area beautified all the time. I feel that if each person is willing to spend maybe just an hour or two on a weekend or every other weekend or even once a month on a weekend cleaning, we go out there and clean, pick up, because we can do this because there's strength in numbers. So if one person sees somebody out there cleaning, go out there and join them.
Right. So just to piggyback off of what you just said, because originally the Freddie Fixer Parade was not about a one-day cleanup, but it was about keeping the community clean throughout the year, and that was
Correct.
the reward. Was the one-day parade for keeping the community clean the entire season, right?
Right.
So again, we have mixed messages, and I think we need to really reestablish the way messaging is being done around the Freddie Fixer, the reasons why the Freddie Fixer exists, and how the community can act proactively, reestablish its commitment to ensuring that that parade and everything that's done that leads up to the parade is actually held true to what it was originally stated to do.
Correct. See, a lot of people don't know, the actual meaning, like you just broke down, but that is actually true. And we need to get back a lot of things that we have deterred and digressed from. We need to get back to them because they played a very important part. It was a need for it, and there's still a need. There's always going to be a need for cleaning. So as always, everyone should be enthused about having their area, clean and have where you look presentable.
Right.
So it shouldn't just be like I said. Like you said, the meaning of the parade was for about the clean, and we need to stay there. That is something that definitely needs to be done. We need to go back to, okay, this is the reason of that. Let's implement that. Let's bring it back full for how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe we'll try to get the committee to present a new message during this time of the year coming up, to reestablish that connection.
Correct.
Last words, Alder, before we part ways for the day. I thank you for taking the time, coming on our first Friday's Real Talk Community Engagement Conversations. Again, I commend you for, let me congratulate you for becoming an Alder. I commend you for the work and the dedication that you actually put in. I know it's a lot of time-consuming work. I look forward to working with you in every capacity that I possibly can. And again, I just want to say thank you for taking the time. Any last words?
Yes, I thank you for the interview. I thank you for all your help. And yes, I always look forward to help. I look forward to advice. I look forward to decision making because, okay, yes, it's not just a one person thing. I feel that it's a community thing, and we all have ideas. We all need to work together, for the better. Like I like the fact that I see, the police walking the beat now in the areas. I feel that is a deterrent, to crime also. So, like I said, everything and anything that we can do to help our youth, we need to do. I'm always, like I said, I'm always open to suggestions, and I I need help with it because I don't have all the ideas. I don't have all the answers, but I look forward to other people's ideas, and I think it's a good thing in our in our town to all work together because we all supposed to have the same objective. We want better for our communities. We want better for our city. We want better for our kids.
Right, and I'm not going to tie you to the entire city, but how can participants or residents in Ward 21 contact you? Is there any
Okay.
information that you have for them?
Yes, I have. They could contact me at my email address, which is on my card. It's what's it? CT. It is Ward 21 at newhavenct.gov.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my email address. They can email me, and I will get back to them. As I stated, I put that out there for anyone that's want to help with cleanup. That they can contact me and let me know what days or what hours or what time to be available because we're still in the process of setting it up, and we gonna need all the help that we can get because there's, like I said, there's strength in numbers, and the more people there are, the more areas we can cover. So I'm looking forward to the help. I'm looking forward to helping my community. I'm looking forward to helping our youth. And I thank you for the interview.
Thank you, Alder. Listen, you have a wonderful day. I'll be seeing you out and about inside of the community as always. And I look forward to a prosperous and definitely a safer summer for us all.
All right, thank you and take care.
Take care. And with that, real talk.
This is Harry Droz, and you're listening to WNHHLP.
As I got another rhyme, another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission. I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going, better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain. Keep on working, open curtains, haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road, lights, camera, action, I'm ready to go. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Yeah, this is my road, lights, camera, action, I'm ready.